Shinobu Ohtaka has done it again. We're talking about Magi greatness, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody needs to say this. Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic is simply greatness. Ohtaka, man. If you want an example of phenomenal writing, you pick up Magi, you read it, go on the internet, whatever you do, you just read this. Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, chapter 217, y'all. 217. Let me first and foremost just say this. Just wow. Reading this chapter, just wow. How do you fall in love with a character in one chapter and build that love even more? How do you not being... I'm not a victim of the moment, okay? I don't get caught up in moments. I do get caught up in excellence. And not in like just... But just like, whoa. Like, yo, this is what I'm talking about. Solomon. That's what I'm talking about. Solomon is that dude. Before I go off on Solomon in a positive way, very, very positive way, I'm very much a fan of his. If you didn't check my last review, go do that. Now, I will say this. I did say in the last review that, and I'm like, yeah, am I going to have to do a read-along for every video, every review of Magi? No, not the case. At least not with this chapter, because it went back to simple times. And not saying there wasn't a boatload of content, because there was. As usual with Magi, it brings in that fire, brings in that quality, high quality, because I only watch and read high quality. And it brings in that, like, it makes you think. It deals with, from the political side, it deals with so many philosophical questions and issues. Okay, this example once again, well, has been done with, but not to this degree of racism, for example. Now, this chapter was broken down into 4 parts. At least I'll break it down into 4 parts. You have first Sheba and Sinbad's resistance, I'll call them, and the resistance of Sheba and the resistance. Sinbad, goodness, Sheba and the resistance. Then we have the resistance on the move. Then we have Solomon himself. I have to say this, man. All rise for the Honorable Solomon. You will be the future king and creator of the Magi world. Little James Earl Jones? I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, then finally we have dealing with racism. Now, to start off with, let me start off with doggone the resistance. Like, what are these guys? I'm like, I kept saying, what is this? What is this, man? What is this? Yo, dude, come on, man. Why? Who? Can I pull these dudes up? Can I do that real quick for y'all? Cause I'm like, yo, this is crazy, yo. Like these guys. This the only time I'm gonna go to it. Oh shoot. Let's see. See if I can pull this up really quickly. Come on, man, quit playing with me. Oh, come on. I'm sorry. This joke crazy, dog. Like, it don't want to go. Alright, there you go. Species. There we go. There we go. Ooh. First of all, we looking at Ring Gyokuen, and I knew it. Okay. They just showing Ring Gyokuen, and she had one looking Magi that looked kind of like a laddie. I'm just saying. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. I mean, first of all, let me. I'm not gonna read it, but look at this face. Y'all see that face? Y'all see that? The opening face of this chat. Oh my goodness. And then we see. Look at this. Look at this, man. Her face, she is so big. I'll get to Shinobu. I mean, not Shinobu. I'll get to Shiba in a second, okay? But let me deal with these different members. First of all, we see different people around them. Let me get to the main cast, okay? We got Ugo talking about, you know, her fight with Solomon yesterday. We got Ethan. He did a real good job. He cracking up. Seta, he says, lunch is ready, brother. So I'm getting, he's Ethan's brother? Seta is Ethan's brother? I mean, they don't look like, but hey, it is what it is, homie. But, you know. And then we got, Falon, she's like, the things that Seta cooks are like so lightly seasoned. Like, she's a teenager, y'all. Come on. So lightly seasoned, it don't get my stomach full. I don't like his cooking. I don't like, what is that? What is that? It gets even more. It did say that goes, this is healthy food with appropriate calories and nutritional values. Like, the food, you would be surprised what food says about a person. Okay, you're honest. Then we got Wahi, you know, Mr. Eye Patch and Fatty is what he is. He's like, I'm tired of waiting. He's got these big old spoon of, I mean, this thing's massive. He's like, and say to say, you should eat less. I hate seeing when you get fat. That's funny, man. And then we got Arabo. She's like, he's right. Wahi, don't get fat again. Let's spar together once we finish eating. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm the only one. He's like, alright. And then you got Ethan's like, I'll never understand why the two of you always train your bodies to the extent, even though you are magicians. I mean, in that scene alone, it explains a lot about mentality. But let me talk about this bitterness, yo. Dude, this bitterness, dude, look all salty. She is super salty. Shout out the phone for that word. Oh, nah. But anyways, this Shiba is so bitter and salty at doggone Solomon. Like, yo, she's got these eyes, man. She's upset, to say the least. She's upset. She doesn't like this. She doesn't understand these people. It's like, yo, y'all, they are wild. I'm not gonna lie. These guys are wild. I would love them. These guys are wild. Okay. But, like, her thing with the whole resistance, she just doesn't fit in, you know. They're going against everything pretty much she's been taught. Okay. The only thing that makes them is they're humans and magicians. That's it. But, as far as in, you know, her place, she's out of place. So that may play a role later. Okay. And moving on from there, we have the resistance on the move. Now, this was very, very interesting. You know, we already see the geek glass, and no wonder he has geek glass. One dude pointed out, I remember watching King of Lightning's review, KOL's review, shout out to him once again. And one dude said, yo, what's up with Ugo having the hipster glasses? He's a geek. This dude's a major geek. He's talking like, yo, we even see later in the chapter, he's like, yo, look at this. He's a geek, yo. Dude's super geek. And it's like, you see Ugo all handsome and stuff. I'm not homosexual at all. But I can tell what a dude, you know, a good-looking brother from a not-so-good-looking brother, or the dude's ugly physically. He's not attractive physically, I'm just saying. Even though beauty comes from within, you're not attractive. Hey, I'm not the best-looking brother, so I know. But anyways. We got Ugo out here. This dude is an engineer. And remember, he said he was a specialist. So I'm wondering what type of magic he actually uses. But anyways, he creates, like, the mountain moves, because it was time to move. And, yo, this is, like, this almost like dragon, beast of burden, but it's mechanical. And he's like, it requires Ethan and the rest of the lightning magicians, you know. So it's electricity. That's what that means. Lightning magic equates to electricity. So this is like a massive thing. But the thing takes a massive amount of magic or magwa, I forget, to make it move. But it's like a whole hilltop. I mean, this thing is colossal. It really is. It makes the Trojan horse look like child's play. So yeah, that I thought was phenomenal. You see Ethan, you know, he has an issue with Ugo not being, seemingly putting forth the effort. But you see Solomon coming out, and this will lead to Solomon. Solomon I'll deal with a bit more, once they actually get to their destination, so to say, temporary destination. But Solomon, oh my goodness, like, am I the only one that thought about Luffy in this chapter? Monkey D. Luffy. If you read One Piece, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're talking about natural leaders. This dude is charisma, like, he's a great leader. He's a phenomenal leader, and I see why he became king. Now, as one who's an anarchist, I'm not cool with the government, but at the same time, if you have great leaders, I'm all for great leaders. I'm not against leadership at all. And if you give him a title and he's a great leader, so be it. That's what y'all people have decided. But anyways, that's not like a king coming and demanding. That's the people's selection of a leader. So you give him the title king, so be it. Doggone Solomon, man, he says, Ugo, you're important. Nobody can do what you do. You feel what I'm saying? He goes and he says, yo, Ethnon, back off him, man. And a great leader is able to calm, the people around him. He's like, Ethnon, we couldn't do what we do without your strength. Y'all, while he has his strength, you have your strength. And like, you can respect that, can't you? We trust you, we value you in this group. And it's a family kind of thing. And then Ethan's like, yo, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, Ugo. I don't know if they're actual brothers, but you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, dude. I wouldn't mean anything, but my brother just frustrated over here. And, it reminds me actually of something Sanji said to Usopp back in his lobby. He's like, I got my strengths, you got yours. Go take care of your business. And it's like how the Straw Hat crew, that whole crew, they like, they know each other. They got this. Luffy trusts everybody. Even his famous speech at Arlong Park, he goes, I can't really use swords. I can't navigate. I suck at cooking. I can't even lie. But what I can do, and he designates what he does as a crew. Every great leader designates as a crew. So the dynamic of the resistance is a family. It's a bunch of comrades. They're young. So most of these are like teenagers, young adults. And it brings, and I say I would vibe with these people because they're you could say an eclectic group. They're eccentric at times. But you got these different personalities, especially these leading personalities, all coming together under the common goal. And it's like a lot of, it reminds me of me and my friends. So I really enjoyed and I really vibed with how Ohtaka brought these different personalities up to light. And we're not just talking about one or two personalities. I mean, we got Solomon, Wahid, Ethnon, Seta, Arugo, Falon, Ugo. Who else? Arba. And those are main ones. And then we got Sheba. But those 5 or 6, right? What, it was about 7. But anyways, them 7. It was interesting. And then we move on to Solomon himself. Yo, Solomon. Oh my God. Now we always seen Solomon reading. Okay, and I might go off on Solomon a bit, very positive. I love this dude. This dude's incredible, man. This dude is a phenomenal character. Ohtaka, thank you. I love this dude already. Solomon, I already said that last video, but just even more. This dude, always see him reading. This dude loves various cultures, various species. And you could say races, because that's what they really are. Even though they're species, they're different races, okay? So they're all intelligent. This dude loves to go in their culture. It was funny at one point, because he's like, they asked him, can you understand the language? And he's like, absolutely not. But he figures out through charades, through just, of reading of their culture. He understands, like, he forms a form of language communication with them. Even his diplomatic skills, and we see that payoff. What he did last chapter, we see that payoff in this, because he the manticores, okay. Remember, he got the young dude under control, and Mama's like, yo, sorry. But we see that again, and they bring the whole manticore, and they invite them into, because they had to stop. And this is something King of Lightning actually pointed out. He's like, it seems like the continents are floating, and so apparently the continents are flying islands, sort of, kind of. So like it'll take, they have to stop, because apparently there's like continental divides, the rifts between the continents, and so like flying islands, sort of. It's an interesting concept if you think about it. How different our world would be if we had flying continents and flying islands. I'm just saying though. Now, or at least a few. That'd be very interesting. Anyways, so they have to stop, because it would take a great amount of energy, a great amount of Magi and magic, and Ethnon and the group, they're too tired to do all that. It's too much, because the vessel that they're on, the metal vessel, is just it tastes too much, it's too powerful to operate. So they'll do that in the morning or so, right? So they have to stop, and Solomon, he asks, can we stay here for the night? We're just one night, please. We're gonna be out your way. And then the manticores just welcome them, and yeah, bro, come on, y'all ain't no threat. You feel me? You were nice to you were nice to us. We be nice to you. The hospitality, and this is what I love, man. This is good. And then we see, I'm like, yo, when I saw that Royal City, I'm like, what they said, the underground village. I'm like, yo, this is like some Aztec stuff, Native American kind of stuff, like pre-Columbus kind of stuff. I'm like, yo, this is tight. This is really tight. And the manticores, they actually walking on their hind legs and whatnot, and they're talking. They're advanced, they're civilized, and this shocks Sheba. But I'll get to that in a minute. But Solomon, with his learning, he just freaks out. He's having the time of his life. The joy of him. And it turns out he's still a teenager. He's probably 16, 17, or 18 at this point. Maybe 19. I'm not sure. He's between 16 and 19. So he's in his mid to late teenage years. But he's got the maturity of an adult. You understand? Of a grown man. So that's what I'm loving so much about Solomon. Now, this racism deal. Sheba's like, she's holding on. You got to understand this. Okay? The nature of racism. Now, I remember reading, I'll go back to myself. I didn't really begin to understand racism until I was about 9, 10, 11. Okay, and there's a whole history with me and growing and understanding me as a person, especially as a black man at the time, black boy. And there's a whole thing about it. And Ohtaka does a masterful job of not just pushing it so overtly, but she does it. She showcases it exquisitely, excellently, phenomenally. This is the things that make Magi so beautiful, because the themes that she presents quite a few, actually. There isn't really major themes, but she pushes a lot of ideology, a lot of ideals, a lot of things. You understand what I'm saying? And she deals with racism in this one. She's dealt with slavery in the past. She's dealt with freedom. She's dealt with governance. She's dealt with quite a few issues. And in this one, she deals with racism, okay? And it's like this. Sheba, before I get to that, let me tell you about something I've read. In a book I have, I believe it's New Philosophy for the New Generation, something like that. It was written in 1970, and it's a collection of various essays and whatnot. And I remember this specific essay, and it kind of helped me understand, I understood, but an even greater understanding of racism. Racism is a faith, okay? Now, people get on religion. It's a faith. It's a belief system that it's a very, very superficial belief system, mind you. That pretty much one skin, in that case of humanity, one skin makes one superior or makes another inferior. Like, you get brought in this group because of the way you were born. Now, in the case of Magi, we're talking about one species. Okay, so it's the same concept. It's still racism. Now, with Sheba shows, she shows fear, which leads to ignorance, which also is embodied with brainwashing, indoctrination, and programming of the way she was raised. Understand it. Racism is taught. You're not born with it. Unlike some other things you're born with, racism is not one of them. The prejudices like that, the biases like those are taught. Okay, those are, or they're somehow gained through experiences, and you keep your mind closed. And this is shaking her worldview. She doesn't understand. She's like, yo, they're not supposed to be intelligent. And actually, Ugo says he shot with some shots fired. He's like, oh, I didn't realize it. He's like, she's like, they were stupid and whatever till yesterday. He's like, yeah, because you had them under, the magic had them from the Ganud, had the tower, the Tower of Folly had them under control. He's like, oh, sorry. She did, and this is like, yo, this is what I've done. Like, this is, when you shake, now she actually took it quite well, and I guess because she's young, she's probably about early adolescence. I would take about 12, 13. I don't take her to be a child, but I take her early adolescence. Now, because she survived for quite a while, I'm taking it on the as a magical power source, as a magical medium for the Magor. Anyways, now when we deal with it, she's fear, and she's like, get back, monster. We see she has a staff again, the Manticore, but apparently the Manticore's come to say sorry because he provides a big old flower. It looks big, but in his hands it's not that big, because he uses his claws and he taps on her. She's looking around the city, and she's seeing a culture that actually intelligent and it's like the whole, who's the barbarian, the whole civilized versus uncivilized, because that's what she keeps saying. And we see her, whenever her eyes go, she goes fanatical and zealous. She becomes a zealot, and we see this. And then, so the Manticore comes, the baby Manticore comes and says he's sorry, and Solomon translates it. He's like, yo, he's trying to say he's sorry for yesterday, and she's like, oh, and she's uncomfortable. You understand what I'm saying? See, when people actually deal with other races, and people need to realize this, in America, spell it with a K, get it right, there's still racism. It's not as overt as it once was. It's a lot of covert and subliminal racism. So there's some people who are racist and under wraps. There's some people who have racist ideologies and mentalities and don't even realize it, because it's so ingrained in the system and into the society that they don't really get it. Okay, and that's what's so damaging as well about racism. It gets into people's whole psyche, and it warps their way of thinking. Now, I'm not saying people get the whole judgmental thing misconstrued. I'm not saying don't be careful, don't be alert, don't be vigilant, don't be, gullible, but take individual cases as individual cases. Don't base your whole worldview off of one case or another case. Overgeneralize. It's fine to generalize, but don't overgeneralize, okay? And Sheba's saying, well, wait a second. These are intelligent beings. The architecture is beautiful, and the whole thing, and Solomon, and then the whole picture thing. And she's like, yeah, that wasn't good. That picture in the book wasn't good. He's like, this is how you do it. And Solomon's like, oh, you pretty good. She's like, yeah, I was. She takes pride. She's like, yeah, I was the top drawer from my school or whatever. That was great. And then so the Manticore, she puts the flower in her and she falls. It was funny. He laughed too. It was funny. I laughed more so. But then she's like, because he drew the pic and she drew it out, and that. And then so there was a teaching and a learning thing, and she began to have fun. She began to open her eyes. And Ohtaka pointed out what I was thinking. I'm like, but though. See, that whole ideology don't just go away like that. It don't vanish. Even though you get understanding, even though you find out something probably gonna happen, you're gonna revert, or she gonna harbor certain things. I don't know. And some people are possibly theorizing that she's Rangyoku. I don't know. But we'll see what happens with Sheba. But I really love that Ohtaka did this issue of racism. The Unexpected One, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on the chapter. I mean, I love it. as an overall rating, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. I thought it was an amazing chapter. The only, if you say, thing that wouldn't make it perfect is because it the plot progression. It moved. It just wasn't, a boatload. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, the themes, the theme of it was done well. Characterization, character development, symbol, just quite a few elements were thrown in just, this short space. So, alright, y'all. Till next time. Peace.